And you are so correct, but it goes further than that. If I am disconnected from my family system and I go into the workplace, I also don't fully connect in the workspace. And I have expectations of now the members in my team to fill some of my needs. And what I have often experienced is if somebody has a very low, shall I say, regard for the mother or the father, with other words, the authority in the family of origin, then there is also a disregard from the head of the team, the boss, and all authority at the end of the day, maybe even the client. So if I am a business, if I'm if I am have my own business, my client is my authority, and if I do not see that, it could cost me a lot in my business. And we then have these struggles in the team on getting the work done, on getting collaboration done, because I don't feel my needs are met. And then my question is, why do I need to meet your needs? You don't meet my needs, I don't meet your needs. And so this actually flows through. So it is quite important to look at every individual in their family system and connecting them back into the family system, because our number one need as humans is I belong. I want to belong. I need to belong. And if that belonging is disconnected, we feel lost in all areas of our life.
And with that, we're now walking across the bridge into the organizational system, and we find and discover certain similarities there as well. There's also when there's a lack of belonging in the team, a team member feels that because perhaps he has brought across some of his family experiences into the team. We call it projection, and that transference then happens between the team member and the boss or the leader of the team. Then there's a typical familiarity with what that client has experienced in very early life. So how would you approach that? And then maybe I can also share when we now find ourselves in a team context, what is your approach to ensure that we understand this comprehensive systemic perspective?
Well, the thing is, the same patterns that an individual experiences in a family system, that individual will also experience in the workplace. So the patterns always get repeated. And so I am inclined to work individually in the workspace with different team members. I once was involved in a corporate constellation setup, and it wasn't long before we started working and all individual members in that team exploded with a trauma. So we had the traumas running wild. We were doing business work. In business, what does a trauma have to do in business? But this is the thing, is when a trauma is triggered in one member, it can trigger another person's trauma. And so it can get very explosive in a business environment if more than one trauma is triggered. If one trauma is triggered, then that can be contained easily. But if there is like one fire causing another fire, can you imagine the explosion? And that is what sometimes happens. So we need to be aware that some of our team members have had difficult lives, have had difficult backgrounds, and yet they've made it in life very, very successful. In fact, I like to say that the most successful people often have underlying trauma because they are successful because they are able to disconnect from what happened to them and make their life successful in another way. But it does not mean that they are whole people. And with the way that the global consciousness is going, we are looking at how can we create more wholeness in our business. And so then we have to work from the wholeness in the business back to the wholeness of each individual member.